You think you're buying a perfect premium home digital piano. You want the feel of a real acoustic grand, you want rich sound, you want to learn with built-in lessons, all for under $1,000. The Kawai KDP120 promises exactly that. With its 88-key responsive hammer compact II action and harmonic imaging sound engine. It's a bestseller for a reason. But here's what shocked me after using it for 3 months. There are some serious design choices and hidden problems that almost made me return it. Therefore, if you're about to click Buy Now, you need to see this honest review first. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's start with the obvious wins, because this piano isn't all bad. The KDP120 looks fantastic. That premium rosewood finish is elegant and way nicer than most plastic competitors. It feels substantial. The 88-key keyboard uses Kawai's responsive hammer compact II action. This means graded, weighted keys that are heavier in the low end and lighter in the high end, just like a real piano. When you first play it, the touch is impressive for the price. Compared to a Yamaha or Casio in this range, the Kawai action often feels more nuanced, a bit more organic. It's a quiet keyboard too, so you won't drive housemates crazy with clunky mechanical noises. That's a big win. But here's the first major problem that doesn't show up in specs. The key texture. Kawai uses a matte, almost slightly grippy finish on the black keys. It feels great for control. However, the white keys, they are glossy, smooth plastic. After an hour of practice, especially if your hands sweat even a little, your fingers can literally slide off the white keys. It's subtle but infuriating. You're trying to play a legato passage and your thumb glides like it's on ice. Therefore, what feels like a premium action is undermined by a bizarre cost-cutting choice on key surfaces. It's like getting a sports car with leather seats but plastic, slippery steering wheel. Now, the sound. Kawai's harmonic imaging technology samples their acclaimed Shigeru Kawai grand pianos. The main piano tones are beautiful, warm, clear, with good dynamic range. You press hard, it gets brighter and louder. You play softly, it's mellow. With 192-note polyphony, you'll never run out of notes, even with the sustain pedal held down in complex pieces. There are 15 other sounds too, like electric pianos and organs. But here's the surprise: the speaker system. It's only 20 watts total, with 2 speakers pointing downward from the bottom of the unit. Therefore, the sound doesn't project towards you, the player. It fires at your knees and the floor. This creates a strangely muffled and distant sound experience when you're sitting right at it. It feels like the piano is playing from under the bed. To get the full, rich sound, you almost need to be standing a few feet back. It's a weird, immersion-breaking design flaw. Let's talk about the built-in Alfred lessons. This is a huge marketed feature. You get access to Alfred's basic piano library course. It's a legit learning tool. But here's the catch that will save you frustration. The lessons work by listening to what you play on the built-in songs. However, the system is incredibly unforgiving on timing. Miss a note by a millisecond. It stops and waits for you to hit the exact right key. It can feel less like a teacher and more like a stubborn robot. Therefore, while the educational value is there, the user experience is clunky. It's like having a tutor who corrects you by just staring silently until you guess what you did wrong. Not exactly inspiring for a beginner. What about the other features? 4 hands mode splits the keyboard so 2 people can play at the same octave. Great for teacher and student. There's a metronome, recording function, basic EQ settings to tweak the sound. All useful. But the control panel is another point of friction. It uses tiny, identical-looking buttons with a small red LED display. Switching sounds or accessing functions isn't intuitive. You'll be reaching for the manual more than you'd like. Therefore, the tech is inside, but the interface feels dated. In an era of touchscreens and simple menus, this is a button maze from the early 2000s. It won't stop you from playing, but it adds a layer of annoyance. Here's a joke for you. Why did the pianist keep slipping off the bench? Because they couldn't find a good key to hold on to. Okay, back to the serious stuff. The connectivity. You get standard stuff. Headphone jacks. A USB to host port to connect to a computer for recording MIDI data. But no standard A/4-inch audio outputs. Therefore, if you want to connect to external speakers or an audio interface for better sound, you're forced to use the headphone jack. This is a professional limitation. It means you're dealing with a consumer-level signal that might have noise or level issues. For a home piano aiming at serious students, this omission is puzzling. It's like a car with a great engine but no hookup for a proper trailer. Let's address the elephant in the room. The pedal unit. It comes with a 3-pedal board, soft, sostenuto, and sustain. The sustain pedal is the one you'll use constantly, but its action is very light and has almost no resistance. On an acoustic piano, there's a satisfying weight and pushback. On the KDP120, it feels like stepping on a wobbly doorstop. Therefore, developing proper pedal technique with this feather-light action is a challenge. You'll lack the physical feedback crucial for half-pedaling and subtle control. It trains your foot in a way that won't translate well to a real piano. That's a significant problem masquerading as a small detail. So after all these problems, why is the Amazon rating 4.5 stars? Because for many people, these issues aren't deal-breakers. The core piano experience, weighted keys, good sound samples, is strong for the price. If you're an absolute beginner, you might not notice the glossy keys or the downward speakers at first. You'll just be happy to have a nice-looking 88-key piano. But if you're an intermediate player or a serious beginner who practices hours a day, these friction points add up. Therefore, the KDP120 is a piano of compromises. It gives you fantastic core technology, but wraps it in cost-cutting decisions on the user experience. It's the musical equivalent of a 5-star chef cooking in a kitchen with dull knives. Here's another joke. What do you call a piano that sounds great but points its speakers at the floor? A subterranean symphony. All right, moving on. Is it still worth buying? That depends on your alternatives. In its price range, you have the Yamaha YDP145 and the Roland RP102. The Yamaha has brighter speakers that face you, but some find its key action a bit lighter and less realistic. The Roland has a superb keyed but fewer features. Therefore, the KDP120 sits in a competitive middle ground. If your priority is the most authentic key touch in this budget, Kawai still might win. Just be prepared to possibly add a rug to bounce sound up and maybe some grip tape for the white keys. I'm only half kidding. The resolution. Don't buy the Kawai KDP120 if you prioritize plug-and-play perfection, need audio outputs, or hate glossy plastic. Do buy the Kawai KDP120 if your top priority is a nuanced, weighted key action for practice. You love the rosewood aesthetic, and you can work around its sonic and tactile quirks. It's a teacher's piano, a practice tool, not a performance centerpiece. For all its flaws, it still makes you a better player because the action demands proper technique. Therefore, this review isn't to scare you away, but to arm you with the truth. You won't be disappointed if you go in with your eyes wide open. Final joke. Why was the digital piano such a good therapist? Because it had 192-note polyphony and was always ready to hear you out. Last one. How do you fix a slippery Kawai key? Give it a little grip music. In all seriousness, the KDP120 with its problems is still a capable instrument that can serve a musician well for years. It gets you 90% of the way to a real piano feel for a fraction of the cost and space. That final 10% of polish is what you sacrifice. Therefore, if you understand that trade-off, you can make a confident decision. For the absolute best price on Amazon and to see current user reviews, click the link in the description below. Thanks for reading this honest review, and good luck on your musical journey.